In some times past, in a small quiet town called Ida, there lived a young woman named Agnes. She was very beautiful, but her heart was full of greed and wickedness. Agnes was a single mother, and she struggled to take care of her child alone. One day, luck smiled on her, and she met a young man named James. James was kind and gentle, and he loved Agnes. They got married. But their life was not happy for long. They had no children, and Agnes started to fear she might lose James. Because of her fear, she used dark magic to cast a spell on James. The spell made him obey her every word. He was under her control, unable to say no or stand up for himself. Agnes also hated her mother-in-law, James's mother. She was a good woman, kind and patient, but Agnes was mean and wicked towards her. Agnes turned her mother-in-law into a house help, making her do all the chores. She gave her little food to eat, just enough to keep her going. One day, James's mother was very sick. She was weak, her eyes were blurry, and her head and legs hurt her badly. Despite her illness, Agnes told her to do chores, wash dishes, sweep, mop, and wash clothes, or she would starve. The old woman started crying. She begged her son, "Please, my son, help me. Tell your wife to leave me alone just for today. I am very sick." James listened. His heart was heavy because he saw his mother suffering. But he was helpless. Agnes's spell made him obey her. James looked at his mother and felt very sad. Then he decided to help her secretly. When Agnes was not around, James finished all the chores his mother was asked to do. After he finished, he left the house. When Agnes returned, she saw the chores done and was happy. She didn't suspect anything. But her mother-in-law was getting worse. Her health was failing, and she was very weak. James wanted to take her to the hospital, but he was afraid of Agnes's anger. "My love, my mother's health is getting worse despite all the malaria medication she has taken," James said. His wife interrupted him. He continued, "I was thinking of taking her to the hospital to find out what is really wrong with her." He hesitated, his voice trembling with fear, but he managed to finish his sentence. "At least, we can know what she's suffering from and get her treated." His wife, surprisingly calm, asked, "With what money?" "I'm not asking you for money." "I will use my own," James replied. "No, James. It's our money, not just yours," Agnes said. "I don't like having to constantly remind you of that." "I'm sorry, I mean our money," James corrected himself. Seeing that he had rephrased it, Agnes continued, "So, you want to use our money to do what? Take your mother to the hospital?" James nodded. "Yes, so we can find out what's wrong and treat her." "And what will happen after that?" she asked. "So she will be fine again, and not?" James started. "Hold on," Agnes interrupted. "James, don't tell me that going to the hospital and spending our hard-earned money that's not even enough for me to buy beautiful lace, jewelry, and headgear, is just to prevent a 73-year-old woman from dying. Are you out of your mind?" she shouted. "But what do you stand to gain if she dies?" James asked softly. "A lot," Agnes said sharply. "Your mother is more useful to me dead than alive. Don't you remember? I belong to 5 different clubs, and I have always been a faithful contributor to their events and ceremonies. I've helped many people with funeral arrangements for their mothers or mother-in-laws. Now, it's my turn. Do you think I would just sit back and let you ruin it for me? If you try to stop me, I will make your life miserable. I won't let you, James, she threatened. And if you dare go against me, I will ruin your life. Her husband, as usual, couldn't oppose her. He left feeling sad and helpless. His mother overheard everything. Seeing her son live in such a helpless state, without even rebuking his wife for her cruel plans against his own mother, broke her tender heart. She died in her sleep that night. When she found out that her mother-in-law had died, she was very happy. She thought it would take a long time for this to happen, but it happened that very day. In front of others, she would cry uncontrollably, pretending she had lost a loved one, to gain their sympathy. 1 week later, she started making arrangements for the burial. Everything went smoothly. On the day of the funeral, she received a lot of money from her club members, friends, family, and others who sympathized with her. She said, "I can't believe that this useless woman has made me so rich in her death. At least this is some comfort for all the food she used to eat in my house," she said with a smile. 2 weeks later, her son, who she had out of wedlock with another man, came home from school and demanded 500,000 naira. He had joined a secret cult and was told he had to pay that amount as a membership fee. When his mother asked what the money was for, he couldn't explain. All he kept saying was, "Mom, just give me the money. I need it for something very important." His mother refused. She said, "You know you are the most important person to me in the whole world. I love you very much. But if you can't tell me what you need the money for, I can't trust you enough to give it to you." He knew he couldn't tell her the truth, so he remained silent and left angrily. Later, he went into his mother's room and found the money she had saved from the burial. He took all of it. A few days later, his mother noticed the money was missing. She immediately suspected her son, but when she asked him, he denied it. He was so convincing that she felt sorry for suspecting him at all. Then she thought of her husband. She believed he was loyal to her because he was under a spell. She thought, "He couldn't have stolen from me." Her next suspicion was her neighbor, a young carpenter she had called to fix her broken bed. She confronted him, and he said it wasn't him. She insisted, "I told you I'm not the who stole your money, but if you keep insisting, you have to prove it." The young carpenter said angrily, "If you want proof, just wait. The evidence will be so clear that the whole community will see that you're the one who stole my money." Agnes replied and stormed out. The next day, she went to see a native doctor. She said, "Baba, my money has been stolen. I want you to make the person who stole my money to go mad and never recover from the madness." The native doctor asked, "Have you asked your family members? Maybe one of them took it, so you don't regret it later." She replied, "My husband couldn't have taken it because he's under a spell to be loyal to me. As for my son, it's said that a lion gives birth to a lion, and a goat gives birth to a goat. I'm not a thief, so I couldn't have had a thief for a child. I believe it's neither of them. Please, go ahead and do as I've said." The native doctor prepared a charm and handed her a sealed bottle. He said, "This is the bottle with the person who stole your money. If you change your mind and want to forgive him, just open the bottle, and he will be cured." She thanked him and went on her way. On her way home, she passed by a river. She thought, "I will never forget that carpenter of a thief. He has caused me so much pain. There's no point taking this bottle back to the house." She stopped by the river and threw the bottle into the water. When she got home, she saw her belongings outside and her husband standing there, looking very angry. She rushed to him and yelled, "James, what are my things doing outside? You better have a good explanation, or I will make your life a living hell. Before you make any good out of your threat, you better pack your things and leave my house and my life forever." She slapped him. "How dare you, James? Have you gone mad? How can you speak to me like that? Are you not afraid of what I might do to you? Her husband then slapped her back. At that moment, she realized something was wrong. "You didn't just slap me, you couldn't have," she said, trembling in fear. "Yes, I did," he admitted. "Thanks to your son, who's now wandering the streets mad. The first thing you did was break the bottle you kept me trapped in all these years. Now, I am free." She was shocked and frightened. "Oh, my son. What have I done? I am finished," she cried and hurriedly left her husband. She ran back to the native doctor. "Baba, please help me. I should have listened to you. It was my son who stole my money. Now he's mad. Please, set him free." The native doctor replied, "You didn't need to come back. I already told you what to do. Just open the bottle, and he will be free." She said, "No, Baba. You don't understand. I was sure it was the carpenter who stole my money. I didn't want to forgive him, so I threw the bottle into the river. There must be another way to free him." The native doctor said there was nothing he could do. She had already decided the fate of the thief, her son, by what she did with the bottle. That decision couldn't be reversed, not even by him or anyone else. She fell to the ground, crying. "What have I done to myself? I've lost my son and my husband," she sobbed as she walked away. Agnes realized her wickedness had spiraled beyond her control. Her manipulations, her greed, her dark deeds, all unraveling before her. The woman who once thought herself invincible was now faced with the consequence of her cruelty. From that day, Agnes's heart was forever changed, though the scars of her past lingered. The small town of Ida slowly learned of her deeds, of her greed and treachery, and her reputation was forever tarnished. James, free from her spell, sought redemption, dedicating himself to healing the wounds she had inflicted on him. As for Agnes, she lived in regret, haunted by the memories of her cruelty. Realizing too late that dark magic could never truly imprison the heart forever. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button as I keep bringing you original stories inspired by true life stories. Go ahead and tell what you've learned from Agnes' life story.